Hello YouTube, my name is Chris and it is time for our monthly live stream. If you are there, please do say hello. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Otherwise, I am just totally talking to myself, which is fine. I'm pretty good at talking to myself, but it would also be lovely to know if you are there. I have been AWOL for like the majority of November. I had so many things that I had to get done. I had so many different projects that I was working on, and as much as I wanted to get to the YouTube videos, so I just had to separate my priorities a little bit and focus on other things. But I didn't want to miss this. At first, I was just going to say I'll skip the live stream and then I'll just come back and start afresh with YouTube videos in December. But I was politely encouraged that, Chris, you should do the live stream. And I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I'm here because it gives me an opportunity to catch up,
I wanted to get
to let you know what I've been doing and what's been going on, and to see how you're doing. Because it has been a good couple of weeks since I saw anybody at all and got to really speak to you and hear about how you're doing on your smoking journeys. So I'll just go over where I've been up to since you last heard from me. I was talking about how I was starting a charity challenge to run 100 miles in 30 days to raise money for the mental health charity Mind. I have almost finished that challenge. I have run 92 miles in 27 days now, so I have 3 days left to run 8 miles, which is not going to be a problem. It's be 4 later, 4 tomorrow, and that's done. And we've raised an awful lot of money. We've raised £270 for this charity Mind that do some amazing, incredible work, ensuring that anybody who has a mental health problem feels supported, respected, and gets the help that they need. They're a charity that's really important to me, and I've always talked about the benefits of getting outside and doing physical activity and what that can do for our mental health as well as for our physical well-being and for helping us when we're quitting smoking, because when we're getting that activity, we're getting that exercise, it's not just a case of distracting ourselves from smoking, it's a case of getting those endorphins going, getting that dopamine going, getting that serotonin going is all going to be good to help us stay the course and not get completely overwhelmed and frustrated or sinking into despair, as can sometimes happen when we quit smoking. So, even though I'm not saying anybody has to run 100 miles, that would be crazy, just to encourage people to get out and do just a little bit of exercise. Just see what, even if it's not, it could just be a simple walk around the park, is going to do us the world of good, no matter where we are on our quit smoking journey. If we are in the early days of our quit, then absolutely it's going to make a tremendous difference. The further we go, we all still need to exercise. And by the way, I see people are watching, but I don't see anyone saying hello. I hope that is... Oh, there you are. You're all here. I had the chat completely wrong. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, there's nobody in the chat. And it turned out I clicked the wrong button. Let me catch up with you all. Robin, hi. So glad I could actually finally watch live. Hi, Robin. Really good to see you. CCK, you are such an inspiration. Thank you for keeping me sane. Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you. That's very flattering. Hope you're doing very well. Good evening, Anja. Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm doing great. I hope everybody else is too. Melissa, hi. Way to go with your running and how far you've gotten for your charity. Hopefully you'll get a few more donations before you're done. I hope so too. I've got £270. It would be amazing if we could get that total up to 280, 290, or maybe even 300. Hi Vicky, how you doing? It's really good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Defiant Sniper still trying to lose this belly. Not go. Yeah. to be honest with you, I'm still trying to lose my belly. No matter how far I run, no matter what I do in my life, there's still a belly there. But I'm happy with me. What I was saying just before I move on from the charity thing, now that I've seen all your messages, is um, if you did want to donate, if you did want to support me raise money for Mind, the link is justgiving.com. I've totally forgotten it. Let me look it up. Justgiving.com/fundraising/Chris Schoyles. And you can donate there wherever you happen to be in the world. I think he's wishing Melissa a happy Thanksgiving, which reminds me, I totally did not wish any of you a happy Thanksgiving. I feel so terrible about that. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Do let me know what it was like for you if you're, early in your quit smoking journey or at any point in your quit smoking journey. How you found getting through that holiday? I know for me, my first Christmas was particularly tough. Being around family the whole time and those kind of days can get stressful, even though it's supposed to be joyful. And I'm thinking going forward over the next couple of weeks, my next couple of videos are going to be about, really getting through the holidays, regardless as to what we're doing. I'm doing fine, just sick with a cold. Your book has finally arrived. When I have time, I'm going to read it. Excellent. I'm so glad it's finally arrived for you, Andre. Yeah, I've got a copy of the book too. It's called Quit Smoking and Be Happy. Let's get that out of the way early. Available in print and ebook form. And I've also got a new website coming out by the end of the year where all of the documents, all the worksheets, the downloads, the guided stuff that is in the book will all be on this website. I'm not going to tell you the address because it looks a mess at the minute, but it will be there. I'll reveal that at least by the end of the year. Recovering the return. I'm still smoking. Want to quit. Well, that's all. That's a great start. As long as you want to quit. That want, that desire to do so is going to serve you far, far greater than going, do you know what, I'm smoking and I should quit, but I don't really want to. I should quit. I know smoking's bad for me. I know this. Logically, I know all these things, but I just don't want to quit. If we're in that mindset, then we're going to have it so much, much, much more difficult than somebody who is, saying, yeah, okay, look, I admit doing this isn't great, but I do want to quit and I do want to find a way to do so. So when we're armed with, I don't know why I keep doing this today, by the way, I just saw myself in the camera. When we are armed with that desire and that, I want to quit, it's a great, powerful first step that we can build on. All it takes then is amplifying that desire and figuring out what that first step may be that we need to take. And it literally is one step that we need to take to begin with. That one step might be setting a quit date or getting some NRT involved or, joining the group or just, coming up with a list of challenges that we might face and how we're going to deal with them. We only have to do this literally one step at a time. And the same with actually when we make that leap and decide, okay, today is the day that I am no longer a smoker. We're not trying to quit smoking for 50 years. We're not trying to quit smoking all the way until Christmas. We're not trying to quit smoking all the way even until next week. We're trying to quit smoking. We're literally the only thing that we have is the period between taking our head off the pillow in the morning and putting our head back on the pillow in the evening. That is the only thing that we have. And that's all we've got to do is that day. Like I said all the time, if we can't do a day, can we do half a day? If we can't do half a day, that's okay. Can we do an hour? Can we do 10 minutes? Can we do, most of my videos are 20 minutes. Can we watch a video and not smoke? If we can't, can we just sit in this moment and not smoke. NRT, I meant nicotine replacement therapy. Sorry, I tend to spew that off quite a lot. Let me sort of look at you, but conveniently next to you, it was exactly. I just happened to have it lying around, Melissa. Let me get to you, Robin. Holidays are difficult because smoking is an excuse to get out and away, rally for a few. Yeah, absolutely. Holidays can be difficult, and again, it's that thing of, if we can create our own little sanctuary. I get that sense of, I'm around these people all day. I'm going for a cigarette just to get away from people for 5 minutes, just to get away, just to have a little bit of breathing room, um, or just because I so associate having good times with smoking, or whatever it may be. But we can do so many other things. We can simply do that thing of creating our little sanctuary and going, well, yeah, I am going to step away for a breather, but I don't have to use having a cigarette as the excuse. I can literally go and do any one of a million things. And also I think it's important to get into that mindset before we go in of, I am going to get through this. I've said many times before that for me, it's not about what's going on around me, it's about what's going on within me. If I am feeling strong and I'm feeling well and I'm feeling determined inside, I can pretty much, walk through the depths of hell and back and be completely unscathed. If there is something completely off with me, I can go to something that might be the most lovely experience in the world, and have a complete act of self-sabotaging disaster. Um, so it is about, for me, coming up with that, I'm going to do this. And what challenges might I face in going into this holiday season? What obstacles might there be? What might throw me off track? And knowing in advance, what can I do about it? Hi Scott, great to see you. My big problem is that I become very depressed. Even though it's 10. A lot less depression, a lot less stress. Once you quit. Absolutely. Can I ask, when you say you become very depressed, is this you become very depressed whilst you are, in the early days of your quit process and going through, the withdrawal process and all the cravings and stuff? Because I know that can happen. I did a video years ago that still seems to be one of my most popular videos about, that depression that some of us can sink into when we first quit smoking. But it does lift. And, like I've said in videos I made a couple of months ago, there is a cause and effect cycle between depression and smoking. So it is the case that, more people who have depression tend to smoke, but it's also the case that the more we smoke, the more depressed we're likely to get. So when we think about our mental health in relation to smoking cigarettes, some people might say, well, I'm going to tackle my depression, or I'm going to tackle my anxiety, and then I'll quit smoking when I'm feeling better. Not realizing that if we take smoking out of the equation first, actually, dealing with this depression, dealing with anxiety, whatever this mental health problem may be, is actually going to be so much easier. Sorry, just realised I spoke for a very long time then without closing my mouth. So here we are. I can't believe I've been talking for 15 minutes already. Yeah, on the subject of depression, I think the most important thing of your statement then, Recovering Libertarian, is that you said, I know it is temporary, and it absolutely is. Even the worst bout of depression I ever had in my life wasn't permanent, obviously, and we can grow out of these things. You know, if we can survive this depression, we can survive anything. I do think it, you know, it makes us stronger. Not that I would say let's all go and have some depression so that we can grow, because there are obviously a million other more helpful ways to do so. But simply that if we're going to have these experiences, you know, if this is going to happen, you know, then what am I trying to say? If it's going to happen, then we might as well see this as an opportunity rather than letting it destroy us. In the early days of my quit, I become very tired and should not go to work because I had a dangerous job. I'm off work now. So I think it's the best time. Well, that's great then. It's great if you're off work now and you've got that time that you can absolutely dedicate to quitting smoking and to giving yourself, you know, speaking of recovering, give yourself that time to be a recovering ex-smoker. I've said this before, and I still think it's very true, that smoking is one of the only addictions I know of, possibly, you know, besides eating, where people don't get recovery time. You know, people are drying out after, you know, alcoholics dry out and they get the chance to be a recovering alcoholic. They get time to recover. We don't, we're expect, you know, we get addicted to one of the most addictive things there is. And then when we're trying to quit, we're expected to just go out into the world and deal with the myriad of things that life throws at us all at the same time. We don't get that opportunity to take time out and just go, do you know what? I'm quitting smoking and this is taking a toll on me. So I am taking this period of time to be kind to myself, to sleep in if I'm tired, you know, to have a Netflix day if I need one. Um, yeah, you're in a, yeah. So yeah, recovering alcohol, like when people will go to rehab and stuff and they get that chance to recover, you know, it's a completely different thing, but I think it's very similar that we deal with a lot when we quit smoking. Not everybody, for some people, it is the easiest thing in the world, you know, but I don't think if quitting smoking is the easiest thing in the world for someone, I don't think they're coming hanging out here on a Saturday, because they don't need me, and that's great. Although they don't need me, they don't need us, they don't need this. You know, so for many of us, I know for me it was so tough. Uh, Phone, that's my dad. Yeah. So what was I saying? Totally forgotten. Something about yeah. We don't get that chance. I think we should have that chance to go, do you know what? I'm taking time out for me. You know. And I think even when we've finished quitting smoking, as much as you can finish it, you know, when we are at that point where we're going, I am a non-smoker now. Still good to take that time out every now and again and just go, do you know what? I've been working really hard. I'm going to take some time out. I'm going to rest. I'm just going to watch a movie. I'm just going to do whatever I need to do, because we don't, at least I don't have an infinite amount of energy that I can use all the time. And if I keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going, I'm going to hit a wall. And then I'm going to get depressed and then I'm going to feel burned out. When I do that, that's when I'm more likely to engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, like picking up a cigarette or, you know, feeling that, oh my God, I need a drink or something like that. So even, you know, as we maintain being free from nicotine, I think it's still good, it's still important to take time out for ourselves. Andre says, when I'm getting angry or depressed, I've talked to my budgies. Oh, that doesn't sound strange at all. I can imagine that working really, really well. Hi, Chris. Sending love from Belgrade. Have a nice weekend. Please make a video about handling severe anxiety. I absolutely will. I've still got more videos that I need to make on the subject of anxiety and depression and mental health and how it all links into smoking and how we handle it. You know, even how we handle anxiety just anyway. Like I was saying at the start of this video when I thought nobody was here, I had to take the whole of November off from doing YouTube, which I wasn't happy about at all. Every week I go, I'm going to be able to get a video done this week, and I just wasn't. But I now that I've got I've got my charity running thing, and I had another big project that just finished today. So now I'm able to focus on this and get back to making all those videos that I keep saying I'm going to make and haven't made yet. And handling severe anxiety will be one of them. Totally gave myself time off when I quit smoking. Needed that extra care and needed to be away from others smoking. Absolutely. Yeah, any opportunity that we can give ourselves to take some time off, just go, yeah, do you know what, I'm going through something quite important here, I'm going to take some time out, and especially staying away from other smokers. That for me was one of the biggest, I'm not going to say mistake, I'm going to say biggest lessons learned. Let's think positively about it. One of the biggest lessons I learned when I was quitting smoking was I can't be around people who are smoking in the early days of my quit. I remember this was when I went to an AA meeting actually, and all our meetings in England tend to be 90 minutes long, and you have a smoke break in between. So the first half of the meeting will go, everyone will go out to smoke, and I go, well, I'm not smoking anymore, but all of my friends in this meeting smoke and they've all gone outside, so I'm going to go outside and talk to them. And if I did that a couple of times, eventually, it was pretty much inevitable that for me, I was going to say, go on, just let me get a cigarette off you. And that, would start again. So then when I bounced back and I started my next quit, I knew differently. I don't have to go outside just because all my friends are. My friends are still going to be my friends if I stay inside, and I will make new ones because I'll just talk to other people, Or if it's a situation where it's like, well, I don't necessarily have anyone else to talk to, but I know for me that it's safer in the long term that I don't go out today. Can I stay away from smokers for today? For one day is going to help me be able to manage the rest of my quit so much easier. These small little things that we have to do produce big, big, big results for everything. What are we up to? Even when I find that a craving comes on, it's most likely because I haven't been caring for myself. Absolutely. Like I said, when I get to that point where, if I'm going and going and going, I get closer and closer and closer to engaging in those self-sabotaging behaviors. And Andre, I've just read from you, please don't rush, the holidays are coming. You also need to think about yourself. Hope I'm not overdoing it. It would have been overdoing it to have done the YouTube videos as well. I get really excited about things. I was just talking the other day about how my brain's going, I should do this and I should do this and this would be cool and this would be cool. And I'm recognizing I can't do everything. So I had to focus a little bit, and I am taking some time as well, just for me. So, after tonight, after I get done, going for a run after this, and then, have a date, or watch a movie, that'd be nice. And just chill out and just relax and take that time for myself. I can share it with somebody else and have good company. I don't have to be on my own, but I also don't have to be going at 100 miles an hour getting things done. Just take some time out, and then tomorrow, by doing that, I've got all the energy I need to go and deal with the day, no matter what it brings. If it's emotional, if it's stressful, I know, I've rested, I'm prepared, I can get through that day without having to have a cigarette. Cooperman, hey Chris, hey Cooperman, how you doing? And Deborah, good to see you. How are you doing? Michelle, hello Chris. I'm around 9 weeks smoke free at the moment. Michelle, that is excellent. Congratulations. I think I remember you sharing it this early on in your journey. I can't believe it's been 9 weeks already. Robin says my spouse smokes by far the biggest obstacle. I can imagine. Robin, I'm curious as to what you do about that. Is it like, do you have a strategy for getting around it, or is it just a case of I just have to be here and deal with it? Um, because again, I think that's the thing of creating our own smoke-free sanctuary, having that space in our house where we can just go to and just take some time out, whether it's another room, whether it's the garden shed, whether it's the bathroom, and make this space our own, so that if somebody we live with is smoking, we can say, okay, I'm going to go in there now. And when we add things to this space that it make us feel good, it's not a case of, oh no, this person's smoking, now I have to go away. It's, okay, this person's smoking, this is an opportunity for me to go and take some time for myself. Michelle, question. I'm using nicotine mist at the moment. How would you recommend stopping NRTs? That's a really interesting question. Because we don't think about that, do we? We talk about, yeah, let's use NRT, let's use nicotine replacement therapy, and then we'll just be fine. And we don't actually think about, well, yeah, at some point I've got to stop the nicotine replacement therapy too. And I would say slowly and gradually, and in the same way that we would with a cigarette. I'm going to imagine that you're maybe not using it as much or using it differently. And I would say do the same thing. It's not that, okay, I can't use my Nicorette mist all day. I can use this today, but just this one time when I normally would use it, I'm just going to not. Say if I use it, it is just a case of cutting down, not necessarily cutting down, but taking it one decision at a time. I have this Nicorette mist, and I feel like I could use it, but do I need to, and do I really want to, or can I get by without it for at least 5 minutes? Let those 5 minutes pass. Either the 5 minutes pass, you forget all about it, you move on with your day, or the 5 minutes pass and you've still got the thing, and you go, well, okay, right, 5 minutes has passed and I'm still feeling this. Can I go another 5 minutes? And another? And another? And just to keep taking it one decision at a time. So we reach that point where we just go, yeah, do you know what? I'm sick of having to make decisions. I'm just going to do without it because I've clearly proved that I can. And Michelle, I hope that gave you some answer to your question. I'm really interested. I've definitely got to make a video about that because that's something I definitely need to think more about. Let's go back up. Then you say just one, I will be fine. That's what we say to ourselves. And there's some folks, different reasons for the time. Absolutely. Yeah, Deborah, that's spot on. There are some people who will, often for their own reasons, that they want, sometimes it's, well, I don't want to feel like I'm the only one smoking, so here's a cigarette. Sometimes it's, you make me feel uncomfortable that I've not been able to achieve something, have a cigarette. Sometimes it is genuinely, you look like you could use a cigarette, and then they get handed one. One writer, thanks for all your videos. Chris will be 2 years in Feb. Yeah, that is amazing. Congratulations. I'm very, very happy for you. That's been a long time, hasn't it? That's going to be very inspiring to people who are just getting started. People who are just moving along their journey. You help so many people, even as repeaters. I'm so glad that I have. I was just saying earlier, I wasn't able to do this YouTube videos this month, but it's still something that I am very passionate about and something that I am definitely going to keep doing. Because if I'm helping people, to make these massive life-changing decisions to quit smoking and stay quit smoking, then this has got to be worth doing. Breaking it in on about giving up the mist. Yeah, I can imagine that, and but it's the same kind of fears, what will I be able to get by without this? What will my life will be like? Will I be able to cope? I will have to go through this situation. I will have to do that. I will have to deal with this person without this nicotine replacement therapy. Is it that, or is it if I don't use it, then I get to prove that I can get through these things? Vicky says that happened to me. I had to end up politely saying that it was important to me. Asked them once to please stop, and then if they didn't, simply ignore it. That is quite often the best we can do. Sometimes we just have to be firm, and assertive and say, no, whatever your reasons are for wanting me to have a cigarette, this is my body. I'm in charge of it. I am making the decision to say, no, I don't want that cigarette. No smoking in the house, but it's combo tradition habit going outside with my best friend and avoiding that cigarette. Yeah, absolutely. Is that combo? Yeah, I get it. It's not so much the cigarette itself; it's the like you said, the habit of this is the thing that we do. This is what we do together. We go outside and we have a smoke. And that can take some period of adjustment. But I've tend to have found. There's my English. I think, tend to. You know what I'm trying to say. um, the more we go along our smoking journey, the more we do just adjust. The more we do just naturally adapt. Things that we always used to want to do no longer seem like such a big deal. Other things just naturally occur, as is life. I missed a question out somewhere. Don't recall how long ago you stopped smoking. Could I refresh your memory? Yeah, it was the end of 2017. So 5 years? Blimey, it's never been 5 years. Has it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was because it was around this time 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's 5 years. It was around this time my nan passed away, and I remember that was when I was like dead early on quitting. And that was just this week was her at the anniversary of her passing. So yeah, blimey, that's a long time, isn't it? I'm a bit surprised by that. Unsure at the moment. So worry about it. I'm sure I'll get there one day. I'm sure you, Michelle. I have absolute every faith and every confidence in you, and you will do this in your own time, at your own pace, when you are ready, how you are ready to do it, and there is no better way of getting through it than that. We try and quit smoking on somebody else's terms, it is always going to come back and bite us in the bum. It is always gonna not be good for us. We have to do this on our own terms and in our own way, and that may mean that you listen to something I say for half an hour and then completely disregard it and do something else because what I say doesn't work for you. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, it's more important for me that you do find what works for you. Scares me when I say people say quit for 5 years or something, then started again. Absolutely, and that can happen. Yeah, that can. I've known people like that too. I quit for such a long time, and then those people will often quite say, and then something happened. I don't necessarily always think it's just a random thing that people start, but it could be. But again, it's not. We can't. I'll say we can't. We can all do whatever we want, I suppose. It would be more helpful if we didn't live in constant fear of another cigarette. And that's not to say that that's what you're doing, blonde writer, at all. I'm not saying you're constantly looking over your shoulder, thinking about a cigarette. Just that, we go for it and embrace. We have today. Today I haven't had a cigarette. Today I haven't done this. Today I haven't done that. As long as we have today, we can cross whatever bridges we need to cross when we come to them. And as long I genuinely believe, as long as we continue to take good care of ourselves, and as long as we are vigilant when we need to be, I don't think that we need to spend every waking moment constantly looking over our shoulder, thinking about, am I going to have a cigarette today or not? Because there does come a time when, as we make the transition from ex-smokers to non-smokers, when we are a non-smoker, we think like non-smokers, and non-smokers don't think about cigarettes at all. It's just not part of their thought process. And we get to that. The longer we stick with it, we do get to that. Just whilst I am here, I'm just going to say I am going to do a live stream in December. Like I said, I'm getting back to doing everything regularly. My live streams are normally the last Saturday of the month. This one is not going to be, because the last Saturday of the month is Christmas Day. And I'm sure, as much as we all love each other, we don't want to spend time on YouTube on Christmas Day. So my next live stream will be Saturday, September the 18th at 6:30 p.m. UK time. So that is in 3 weeks' time. I will get better to sharing notices and letting you know when that's happening. And I also want to thank Vicky for trying to gently encourage me to get a link together so we can put in the Facebook group. It's just been a busy month, and just so many things pass me by, but normality shall resume. Again, I'm going to tell you about my book. For those who missed it earlier, wouldn't be a video or a live stream if I didn't tell you that Quit Smoking and Be Happy is available in print and ebook form. I've actually got an idea for another book that I want to write. This is what I mean about my brain's constantly going, ooh, do this. Ooh, there's an idea. I've got an idea for a quit smoking journal that I want to put together. Again, that's going to be in the new year, because I just don't have the time for it right now. Yeah, but I'll get to that, more details when they come. I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer if anyone has any other questions or comments, or even just let me know how you're doing. I said at the beginning of this about, how was your Thanksgiving? How was everyone's Thanksgiving? How did you do, not smoking through Thanksgiving? How are you thinking? What are you thinking about getting through Christmas without smoking? Michelle, ooh, I'll be in a flight to LA. First time ever flying without smoking. Woo! 10 and a half hour long flight without that anxiety. Oh my goodness, that 10 and a half hours, that's a long flight, but you can absolutely do it without a cigarette. It's one of the amazing things that proves to us that we can go without a cigarette. We can get on flights, we can go to the cinema, we can be in hospital, where we're not allowed to smoke, and we kind of do okay. Like, we completely do okay with it. But that sounds really exciting, though. I must say that you're right about that we only have today. My goal is to be smoke-free one morning, one afternoon, and one evening at a time. It takes a lot of pressure and stress off me. Absolutely. I love that. One morning, one afternoon, one evening at a time. Because those, we can't control anything else other than what we're doing in this given moment. We can prepare for things. Even with quitting itself, you say, "Oh, I'm going to quit smoking tomorrow." That's an intention, but it's not an action. Tomorrow could come and anything could change. So we really only have this time. I was a major success and then I slipped. That one turned into many and made me a smoker again for a couple of months. Now I'm back at quitting 140 something days. I have learned to never say I can have one. Absolutely. Melissa, congratulations on 140 days. That is a big achievement, and absolutely, it's this thing of, when I made that video the other week saying, just avoid just that one cigarette. Somebody said, you don't buy cigarettes on the road, you buy them in a packet. Like, yeah, I know, but we don't smoke the whole packet. We smoke that one cigarette that then leads us to the next one. I don't think there's ever been such a thing as one cigarette. I do actually agree with that. Because even if we don't have one and then immediately light up another one, what we've done is gone, well, I had that one cigarette and I got away with it. Even though I felt, excuse me, I've burped, that's really disgusting. Even if, we have that one cigarette and doesn't immediately lead to another, we go, well, I felt bad, but I was okay, so I'll have another and another. It is just going to lead us to that thing of one cigarette will eventually turn to two, to a pack, to on we go. Don't think about smoking anymore. This from someone who used to scour my neighbourhood at 3 a.m. for discarded butts. Not exactly safe in Brooklyn. Yeah, I can imagine. I can think there'd be more exciting things to do in Brooklyn than going around scouring for butts. But I can totally, relate to that kind of behaviour, and it's not something that, I can't say I've never done something similar once upon a time. This can lead us into desperate states, smoking, and we don't have to be like that anymore. We can get through this day. As Blonde Writers just said, even, no matter what where smoking takes us, we can get through these days. And cigarettes don't enter our head, which is a weird thing to comprehend in the early days of our quitting. It's a weird thing to comprehend when we're still smokers, because we've thought about smoking for so long. Even if we haven't really been thinking about it, it's been part of our life for so long that it's hard to get into the idea of, at some point, I'm just not even going to, cigarettes are just not going to be part of my life, and I'm going to be totally okay with that. But that's exactly what happens. By the way, you've missed 15 minutes. Boo. Boo. Well, glad to have you back. Yes, when I would want just one, I would think, well, that then stopped me from having just one whenever I want. So I walk around listening to Chris's videos. Oh, I'm so glad they were able to help you. Yeah, you give yourself permission to just one, then you go, well, then I can just have another, and back where we were. I bummed my one, then another, then I got tired of bumming and just bought a pack. Yeah, absolutely. It's that slope, isn't it, that we get down. I'm so glad that I did this. It's been a long time since I made a video, and I'm okay with that because, as I was saying earlier, if I'd done too much, my head would have been completely off. But I really enjoyed catching up with you all today. Yeah, I'm going to go for a run after. I'm not leaving just right now, by the way. I'm going to go for a run after this, and then I'm going to chill out. And it's been a good day. Keeping my goals as low as possible works best for me, and taking baby steps. People around me laugh at me for doing it my way, but then I learned I need to ignore them, even though it hurts. Absolutely. The way, both like the things that I live my life by is that the way somebody treats you says more about them than it does about you. So I think that if someone's laughing at me or being mean to me. It's not about me, it's about them. But also that means that, the way I treat other people says more about me than it does about that other person. So if I'm getting laughed at or, you know, called names or, whatever it may be because people don't think that I'm doing it right, that has nothing to do with me. Other people's behavior has nothing to do with me. That's them. They're reacting to what I'm doing based on their own thoughts, feelings, fears, insecurities, and all the rest of it. Um, and I go, well, that's okay. That's all about them. I know, or at least I believe, that this is the thing that is right for me at this moment in my life, and this is what I'm going to do, regardless as to what anybody else says. Still watch Chrissy's videos. By the end of the video, the temptation is gone. Excellent. Vicky, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad they're still proving to be helpful for you. And to come back to the idea of baby steps, I think that seems to have been a theme for this stream. Ooh, that rhymed. The theme for the stream was about baby steps and taking it one bit at a time and finding, your own way to go and do things. Because I genuinely believe, we can have all the strategies and tools and techniques and nicotine replacement therapy and we can have all of that. But what matters the most is going, I need to do this, this, and this, whereas you need to do this, this, and this. Finding a plan that is unique to us. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be unique, but is individual to us and works for us. I really appreciate your videos, Chris. I watched the first one around 2 years ago. It gave me the confidence to try and stop. Excellent. This is third, possible fourth attempt. Good. That's what we need, is that confidence to be able to stop and to go, do you know what? I can do this. I just can. We all can. We all have it in us to stop smoking. Because I was thinking the other day about how, when we start smoking, we have to teach ourselves to be able to smoke, because quite often the first cigarette, the body goes, oh no, this is poison and destructive, and we cough, and we have to willingly beat ourselves into submission, to be able to become smokers. And if we can willingly beat ourselves into submission to become smokers, we can willingly get ourselves out of the habit of being a smoker. So we all have everything that we need within us to quit, and that is the most important thing. I've probably said that a couple of times now, but that is one of the most important things, is recognizing everything that we need, all of the confidence, all of the ability, all of the courage, the determination, the perseverance. It is all within us. All we need to do is find it, tap into it, and use it. And when we use it, amazing things happen. Do you ever, after all this time, think about having a smoke? I do, even after a year, annoying sometimes. To be honest, not really. I was saying this on the live stream last month, which seems like it was ages ago now. But also somehow seems like it was only just yesterday. For me, I don't, like, if I've had a bad day or something like that, I don't necessarily think about smoking, but I do think about drinking still. And I think I think in one way I've kind of been lucky to have had both issues, because now I can just think about drinking and not smoking, and I would rather do that, I think. That's right, it's hard sometimes. But the most hurtful, they said, was, if you can't quit smoking, how can you be, oh my goodness. Oh, Angela, that's awful. I'm so sorry that somebody said that to you. I really am. Again, I'm going to come back to this thing. There's nothing that I can say that can take away the hurt of such an awful thing to have said to someone. But I will go back to that thing of what people say to you says more about them than it does about you. It says nothing about your ability to be a good mother or anything else. It's about them and where they are at. You send them people to me, Andre. I'll give them what for. Christopher, you know your videos were crucial to my success. I still watch the old ones and get excited about new ones. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you, Melissa. I'm so glad that these videos are still resonating with people and you are finding things, all of you finding things to go back to even once you put the cigarettes down. That really makes me happy and it makes me definitely want to keep doing this. Like I say all the time, as long as it's something that I'm doing is providing some value to you, I will absolutely keep going. Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good way to put it. Blonde Writer said, these people sound really insecure. And I absolutely agree. What's going on for them? Maybe, you're thinking about embarking on this important thing of quitting smoking. And it takes courage to do something like that. And maybe you're just reminding them that they don't have the courage to do something that's important to them. Hello, I quit smoking for 24 hours and I'm back to smoking. What should I do? Hi, Script Kitty. It's really good to see you. Quit smoking for 24 hours and I'm back. I think the first thing I would say, certainly, is, to think about what happened for you. Well, no, actually, I will go back to something I said at the start of this stream, which is, do you want to quit smoking or do you feel like you should? That would be my first question. If you have, a genuine desire, and it's not just, well, I should quit smoking, but I actually kind of like doing it, that may be more difficult for you. You have a genuine desire to quit, then Script Kiddie, you can look at, well, okay, what happened in those 24 hours that I quit? What went well for me in those 24 hours? What was successful? Write that down and do more of it. And then look at, okay, what didn't work so well for me? What were my trigger situations? What were the instances that made me really want to smoke more than normal? What can I do differently? What was the one thing that made me decide finally, F it, I'm going to have a cigarette? And when that occasion comes again, what can I do about it? I find your voice very soothing, so I listen to it a lot. Oh, well, I'm very glad. My voice feels all croaky because I've just been talking for an hour. Yeah, but I'm glad you guys are finding it helpful. Maybe they are, but it's not an excuse to hurt others. Absolutely, there's no excuse, for people just being shitty to each other. There really isn't. It's one of the reasons why, I love our community, our group, not just Finding Freedom, but all of you guys on YouTube, is that I never ever see any bickering or infighting going on. Everybody is absolutely lovely and genuinely supportive and genuinely rooting for one another. And I absolutely love that. These are this is my tribe. You guys are my kind of people. So I'm going to stick with you. As long as you'll let me stick with you, I'm going to stick with you. And we'll get through all of these things together. Sometimes I might disappear for a month, but I'm still around, thinking of you and wishing you all well and all that good stuff, because I really do. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I get to recognize people. Michelle I've spoke to before, and Blonde Writer 99 I've spoke to you in my comments, definitely. Andre I spoke to in the last live stream. So I do, and Vicky and Melissa, obviously I've spoke to you quite a while, haven't I? So I do get to recognize everybody and get to know you and your stories, and and that's important to me. That's important to me. I like following along. I like hearing from you. I can't always remember your exact length of time, whether it's 2 years or 140 days or 9 weeks. But I do like to hear how you're all doing. I said in the Finding Freedom group a little while ago, Sometimes we hear from people and hear from them and hear from them and hear from them, and then all of a sudden they vanish off the face of the earth, and then I have no idea if they're doing really well in their quit or if they're doing really badly. Not doing really badly, that's the wrong way to put it. If they're doing really well in their quit or if they're struggling with their quit. And obviously these people have no obligation to tell me. I'm just really curious about how people are doing. And so do keep up and keep with me. Yep, I'm with Melissa on that one, even if quitting doesn't happen, which I hope is not the case. No relation to how you do as a parent and never will. Absolutely agree with that. Agree with Blonde Writer saying it's normal just to try many times before succeeding. It absolutely is. It took me so many attempts to quit smoking that I lost count. Eventually I just have to say, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. That doesn't necessarily mean that we have to try and fail, or that we have to tell ourselves, well, somebody on Chris on YouTube said that, trying and not succeeding is part of the journey. So I don't have to really try that hard because I'll just say, oh, this is part of the journey. Absolutely not. If we can get through a period without having a cigarette, that is definitely better, than getting through it with a cigarette. But if we take that option, all we have to do is get back on the horse and try again. That's my family member saying that please remember your worth and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. It's good. I would reconsider that relationship. Absolutely, we don't have to put up with other people's behaviour. We just don't. Um, we don't have to physically shut people out of our lives necessarily. Always. Sometimes that is that. I've talked about this loads of times. Sometimes I have just booted people out of my life, but sometimes I've just had to close the door on any kind of emotional relationship with them and going, that's where you are. You can stay in my life and we can have a connection somehow. Sorry, I've just got distracted by the comments. We can, have some kind of relationship that's not going to be the same because nobody has the right and nobody deserves to have that kind of power and control over us. If somebody says a mean thing to me and somebody is crappy to me, it makes me upset. That person doesn't have any doesn't deserve to do that to me. They have no right. They have no control over me, and I'm letting them upset me to that extent. Do more of the running videos, Chris. I would love to. I bought this little camera to go and start filming some of my runs, and I was really excited about it. And then there was no image stabilization, so the video was terrible, and I just gave up on it. But I would love to do more videos about running because I talk about it all the time anyway. At some point, I might as well put it on YouTube. Best of luck, but you can do it. Absolutely. Don't forget to talk about your charity run one last time. All right then. I promise I won't forget to talk about my charity run one last time. If you missed it at the start of this live stream, I am running, doing a charity fundraiser, running 100 miles in 30 days to raise money for an amazing mental health charity called Mind. They are based here in the UK and they work tirelessly to ensure that everybody with a mental health problem feels supported, valued, and respected. They run a lot of helplines. They campaign for access to better access to mental health services. But all of this costs money, so I've been trying to do my bit to help them out by getting out the door. And we've had a storm lately, so it's been awful outside. Getting out the door and running 100 miles in 30 days to raise as much as I can for them. I have so far raised £270 and I have run 92 miles in 27 days. My legs are very, very sore. If you would like to help me out with this, if you would like to support me and help me to help Mind, I would love it if you could donate even £1 or $1, because wherever you are in the world, you can absolutely, donate. The link is justgiving.com/fundraiser/Chris Spoils. I am going to get going in just a couple of minutes, just whilst we're on the subject of telling you about things that I've been doing. So, of course, I haven't mentioned much Finding Freedom. It is our amazing community of people who are at all different stages of their quit journey. This wonderful community of people supporting each other when things aren't going so good, and celebrating each other when things are going amazingly well. The group is facebook.com/groups/Finding Freedom 1. You will find the link in pretty much any video I've done for as long as the group has been around. Again, I've already plugged this a lot. It is called Quit Smoking and Be Happy. It is my book. It is available in print and ebook form. There will be a website coming hopefully by the end of the year with all the downloads and worksheets and stuff like that, all in one place. And what else was I going to tell you? What was really important? Oh, the next live stream, like I said earlier, will be December the 18th. So that is 3 weeks from today at exactly the same time. Glad you finally caught the live videos there in NYC. I'm glad too. I'm glad you were here and you were able to come and hang out with us. Okay, so with that, I think I am going to go and put my running shoes on. I've got my running top warming up over there on the radiator because it's freezing outside. So I'm going to go and get some more miles done. I will get back to doing normal videos next week. Bought your book when I did my quit, definitely recommend. Excellent. And one last thing just to say, if you were interested in my one-to-one quit smoking support sessions, if you're interested in having me pretty much like a live stream, but just me and you talking about your quit and me helping you through it, you can email me at chris@cjstherapy.com for information about working with me one-to-one. Okay, bye, Born Writer, and guys, I am going to get out of here too. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really thought because I hadn't been online all month that you all weren't going to turn up, and you all turned up, and I'm very, very happy that you did. So Blonde Writer and Vicky and Michelle and Andrea and Melissa and Squid Kitty and I've forgotten everybody else who was here. Defiant Sniper, Deborah, Scott, CCK, the guy I was talking to at the beginning, what was your name? Robin. Everybody else that I've spoken to, thank you so much for coming. I will see you next time. Bye.